What are you most looking forward to in playing the Steelers this year?
Just the first division game of the year. It's exciting whenever you get to play a division matchup. It's, a little more intense than the usual game. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you.
Joe, what did you take away from that matchup with them the first time, and how disappointing was it not to maybe look and say, here's the corrections I can make. I'd like to face them again and have a chance to make those corrections?
Yeah, it was a tough one the first time, and, I was looking forward to getting to play them again. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Got injured, and so it is what it is. But, I'm planning on being here for a long time, so I plan on playing the Steelers a lot of different times.
Joe, what makes Minkah Fitzpatrick so good and so difficult to match up against?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the first part of that.
Minkah Fitzpatrick, Joe, what impresses you about his game? What makes him so difficult to pass against?
You can't just expect him, you can't just read the coverage and expect him to be in a certain part of the field. He does a good job of understanding where his job is and does a good job of understanding, whether the route concept allows him to go to a different area. He's not always where you expect him to be, and he makes a lot of plays doing that.
Joe, the Steelers have led the National Football League in sacks. I think the last 3 years they had 56 from last year. That led to 27 takeaways, some big numbers. Is it personnel excellence? Is it scheme? Is it a combination? What makes them difficult?
It's a combination of all of it. That's what, the great defenses do. They have great players and great scheme to back it up. They have, obviously, TJ Watt and Cam Hayward. Now they got Melvin Ingram over there. We played him last year too. He's a really good player. So, they got a lot of different guys that can create pressure from a lot of different ways.
Joe, how do you think you've played through the first 2 weeks of the season?
I think I've played decently. Obviously a lot of room to improve. And that's what you try to do each week. You look at what you did well, what you didn't do well, and then try to improve.
Joe, a lot's been made about the offensive line and kind of their role in keeping you upright. What are some other things kind of the offense as a whole can do to make sure that the pressures when y'all drop back or go down as the weeks progress?
We just got to be better all around. I can be better. Backs can be better. O-line can be better. Receivers can be better. Coaches can be better. We can all be better. That's what you try to do each week.
What's the communication like midweek as y'all kind of build towards Sunday and fixing that after the last couple of weeks? What are the conversations like among y'all as y'all kind of figure out the way for everyone to get better and move on?
I think those conversations could probably go on in the O-line room. For me personally, I control what I can control and try to get the ball out fast, read my keys, and go from there.
Joe, Jamar has talked about being more aggressive and trying to take more shots downfield. He said last game it should have happened more. What does being more aggressive look like to you, Joe?
I think there's spots where we can take calculated risks and then push the ball down the field. And it's just, when you catch man coverage, just taking advantage of that opportunity.
Joe, you're on the road for the second time. Pittsburgh's a loud place, just like Chicago was. How was the communication handling that crowd noise? Was the communication okay last week?
Yeah, communication was top-notch, I thought. There were no communication errors, so that was good.
If Joe Burrow were devising kind of a generic game plan for Joe Burrow, not necessarily to face the Steelers, but just in general, what would it look like? What would you like to see in it?
That's a tough question. Every game plan is different, each week depending on the personnel that they have and, the personnel that we have. Some guys get hurt, some guys aren't going to be out there. So it just depends week to week. Tough to answer that.
When you looked at the two interceptions, not the one that got tipped, but when you look at the first two in the cold light of day, there was the emotion on Sunday. What did it look, what did it look like to you on Monday, and what did you take away from those two throws, Joe?
The first one, it was me trying to force it. I give credit to him. He made a great play. Not a lot of linebackers can make that play, and so, I was aggressive. I don't know if I would have changed what I did. I could have made a better throw, but I probably would have made that decision again. And the second one, he made a great play. again, they made really good plays on defense, and the corner guessed that we were running it short. They were getting pressure all day, so he knew we were going to get the ball out fast, and he just jumped the route. So that one, I just got to give credit to him. When you play pro football, stuff like that's going to happen. Those guys get paid on defense too. So you just, you put it behind you and move on to the next one.
Through two games, how comfortable do you feel moving around in the pocket, instinctually kind of scrambling out and doing that kind of thing, or has that kind of been still a process of getting used to that for you?
Yeah, watching the film, that's an area that I can improve. Just feeling the rush and feeling where I can escape the pocket a little faster. That's definitely an area that I'm continuing to get better at post injury.
Is it different to kind of feel like? Do you feel like you have to think about that a little bit more now as you're, I don't know whether it's the knee or just worrying about things, or is it not as instinctual as maybe it was last year?
I'm definitely not thinking about it, but I'm definitely going to be in more of a mindset to escape the pocket faster moving forward.
Joe, is that just something that takes game reps, live game reps, not necessarily practice reps to get better at and improve on?
Yeah, I think so. I was, watching the film, there were certainly a few plays where, my first or second read wasn't there, and I moved on quickly, but, just not quickly enough. And I think in those situations, I can get out of the pocket and try to make a play.
Joe, what are your thoughts on moving the pocket, actually having the pocket move side to side and take advantage of what that could offer?
Yeah, you try to. There's a lot of different things that we can do. There's positives and negatives to all of that. And, when you move the pocket is cleaner, but you're also taking away one entire side of the field and they know where you're throwing it. So there's positives and negatives to each thing that you can do, and you just got to weigh those options.
So what do you like about – I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Butch.
I was going to say, Joe, what do you like about the empty set? And is it different in the pros than it is in college?
It just allows you to really put pressure on the defense, and it's tough for them to cover all parts of the field, and you can get the ball out quickly. There might not be as many big plays in those situations because it's just 5-man protection, a lot of one-on-ones up front, but it allows you to get the ball out fast and staying manageable down in distances.
Joe, one of your strengths, one of your many strengths is pocket manipulation, and staying in the pocket and being able to just, slide step up, whatever. How is the pocket manipulation aspect of it coming for you?
I was happy with, I made some throws with guys in my face on Sunday while I was getting hit. And so I was happy with that part of my game. I think through the first part of the game until we started turning the ball over, I thought I was playing really well. I was playing on time and getting the ball out quickly, and then it kind of snowballed on us. But I was happy with my ability to hang in there and take a hit and complete the ball still.
Joe, where do you feel like your timing and feel is right now compared to maybe where you were right before the injury?
Sorry, Ben, I didn't catch that first part.
Sorry. I feel like where do you feel like your timing and feel is, in the pocket where it is now compared to where it was, right before the injury? Because it feels like you had made a lot of progression there, and then you obviously had a lot of time off. So where's that at right now for you?
Yeah, I think I felt a lot more comfortable back there on Sunday than I did the week prior. And that's just going to keep getting better and better. So I was really happy with just my comfortability in the pocket on Sunday and hanging in there and making throws, when those opportunities were there.
Joe,
why do you think that was the case?
Go ahead, guy. Whoever it was, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up. Why do you think you maybe weren't as comfortable as you would have liked?
On Sunday, I said I was comfortable back there on Sunday.
Gotcha. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Joe, the position requires a lot of short-term memory loss. You make a couple bad plays, you come back. Is that an acquired skill, or was that something that was just innate in you as a quarterback?
That's probably definitely acquired. You play this game long enough, you're going to make mistakes. And I was really happy with the way we bounced back. We turned the ball over on 4 straight possessions, but then we scored 2 straight touchdowns and, really made it a game. And, I think if we get the ball back at the end of the game, I'm confident that we go down there and win. So, I was happy with the way we bounced back from that adversity.
Joe, to go back to the question about being aggressive on offense, Jamar really talked about it quite a bit, and it seems to be a big talker outside of the building, which I'm sure you don't care about. But have you had talks with Zach about being more aggressive? Is it something you think this offense needs to be, is attacking more, at least early in the game?
And I think one thing that we're starting to realize is, we have a guy in Jamar who's going to go down the field and make plays, and we have a guy in T that's going to go down the field and make plays. So, the more that those guys continue to show that they can do that, I think the more we'll push the ball down the field.
What kind of influence do you have on the game plan itself?
They take my opinion into consideration. So I'm very happy with that and how that's progressed.
More minutes.
What kind of influence do you have, Joe, in potential adjustments? I mean, you've obviously got a football mind, beautiful football mind. You come to the sideline and say to the coaches, "Hey, I'm seeing them doing this." I mean, do you have any input on potential adjustments that are being made?
Yeah, I do. And, I think that's what's going to propel us forward is, it's not just me. It's whenever anybody comes to the sideline, I think they see something, the coaches do a good job of hearing that and then trying to make that adjustment.
Joe, I know in the preseason, you talked about wanting to take that first hit. Over the first couple of weeks, do you feel like you've been hit too much?
No, it's football. You're going to take hits. It's part of the game. That's part of being a quarterback. And I'm going to keep hanging in there and taking those hits and trying to complete the ball. It is what it is.
Joe, since we have a short week, I kind of wanted to ask you a little bit about week 4 a little bit. What do you feel like your development was under Urban Meyer as a quarterback, and where do you feel like you grew the most, and how did Urban kind of facilitate some of that?
Yeah, I can really credit Coach Meyer with a lot of my growth early in my career. He's really hard on me, and it made me a much better player and a better person and able to handle weeks like this where, I throw 3 interceptions and, we lose the game. And, I think we're going to bounce back in a big way. And he was really one that, pushed me to grow in that way.
Do you remember, is there a time when he was really hard on you early on when you kind of were trying to figure it out, and now looking back, it makes a little more sense?
Yeah. What he does is, when he gets a new player, he's, tries to put them in a very intense situation to see how they respond, to see if he can trust that player. And, he really did that to me early in my career. And I was, wasn't really sure why it was happening. And then, as I got older and more mature, I really understood why he was doing it, and it didn't make me better.
One last question.
Oh, I've got one. I'm sorry if you were asked this. I hopped on late, but you talked about the importance of winning on the road for this team. You were unable to do that, obviously, in Chicago. But when you look at this matchup with the Steelers, how important do you think it is for you guys to win in this matchup, knowing you guys want to obviously be contenders in the AFC North, and it starts with the Steelers on the road?
Yeah, first division game, you want to start off strong. You want to come out fast and explosive and win that game to propel you for the rest of the year. We're 1-1 through 2 games. That's better than we could have said last year. And so we got 15 games left. We're excited about where we're at, and we're excited about the improvements that we're going to make. So it's a big game this week. We love to go out with a win and be 2-1 and be 1-0 in the division.